In this video, I'm going to teach you about the Kapalabhati. Kapala means the cranium, the head of the skull, and Bhati means to cleanse. So it is a cleansing technique that cleanses the whole respiratory system, the nostrils, the lungs. Also, it purifies all the cells because it gets rid of the excess amount of stale air from the lungs. So it will reduce the level of carbon dioxide in the blood and also in the cells. So it rejuvenates the whole system and brings awakeness. So it awakens the cells, awakens the brain, brings awareness and focus, and also purifies the mind. So after doing a few pumpings and holding the breath for some time, then you will experience quite an immense stillness and peace. The practice is basically done by forcefully exhaling the air. Exhaling the air that is kept in the expiratory reserve volume. So once you make an exhalation, you can exhale a little bit more air. It's almost like when you cough. So instead of coughing and exhaling through the mouth, you want to push the air out through the nose. So it should be sharp, short, and powerful. So you want to contract the belly and push some air out. It doesn't have to be super forceful, so it's not like. So you don't want to hunch and then cringe your face. So you want to be relatively relaxed and then just short and sharp. The same way as if something just got stuck in your nose and you want to just blow it out really forcefully. The rhythm should be about one pumping or one stroke per second. You can go faster later on, you can go also slower. It's really important to get the rhythm right and also the right muscle contraction. Sometimes people get a little bit confused and then they do the reverse when they do something like this. So they forcefully inhale and the exhalation becomes passive. So you want to forcefully exhale and the inhalation becomes passive. So as you exhale, you empty the expiratory reserve volume and you create vacuum in the lungs. And then when you create the vacuum and then you release the contraction in the abdomen, that will suck in a little bit of air, which is enough to keep the pumping going. So you don't have to focus on inhaling, you only focus on exhalation. And as you relax the abdomen, it will pull in a little bit of air and that will be sufficient to keep going. So sit tall, again find a comfortable seat. We will do 30 pumpings and at the end, you exhale the air and then you fill up low back, low belly, back ribs, front ribs, upper back, chest, and then we are going to hold the breath inside for as long as you comfortably can. This technique is not recommended if you are pregnant or if you have any kind of heart disease, epilepsy, hernia, these kind of things, stomach ulcer. So if you have any of these, then you better contact your physician and ask their opinion. But if you are completely healthy, you don't have high blood pressure or any kind of heart disease, then this should be relatively safe. So sit tall, lengthen the spine, keep the hands on your thighs. Take a breath in, just fill the lungs for about 50%. And then follow my lead, let's do it together. We'll do 30 pumpings. Now exhale all the air, empty out the lungs, and inhale slowly through the nose into the low back, low belly, back ribs, front ribs, upper back, chest. So you feel the lungs and then hold the breath inside, close the eyes. And begin to observe what you feel, what kind of sensation you are experiencing. And hold the breath as long as you comfortably can. So whenever the urge to breathe arises, just slowly begin to exhale through the nose. So don't wait until you feel like you're going to burst and then you just gush out the air. You want to maintain a calmness. So once you feel it is time to breathe, then slowly begin to exhale through the nose. Try to elongate the exhalation. So instead of exhaling in 1 or 2 seconds, make it at least 5 seconds long. And then return to a natural breath. And simply just observe the after effects. You may see some colors, you may see some shapes or forms, you may feel some buzzing sensation, pulsation around the forehead, lightheadedness. Especially if you do this for the first time, it can be quite overwhelming or quite profound. But don't worry, this effect will go away over time, or at least it will be reduced significantly. Take a few more breaths, and we will repeat this 2 more times. So sit tall, hands on the thighs, and then take a breath in. Fill the lungs for about half, and then let's begin. Exhale all the air out. Again, just make the effort to empty the lungs completely. Inhale slowly into the lower compartment, then to the midsection, and then to the upper back chest. Hold the breath inside, close the eyes, and again just observe. Turn the mind inwards and just be the witness. Notice what's happening. And if nothing is happening, that's great. You already reached that state of emptiness, but nothing is arising in the surface of the mind. If that's the case, just focus on stillness, focus on emptiness. So you bring the mind to a halt, or you allow it to be just empty. And if you see things or feel things or hear things, just focus on that. Notice what it is. But try not to grasp. Try not to cling to them. Allow them to rise and allow them to fade away. Just the same way how clouds come and go. Whenever you need to release the breath, just release. Slowly exhale. And slowly inhale. And then return to natural breath. And keep observing. If you feel that the mind becomes busy, then draw the attention between the eyebrow center or to the Agya chakra or third eye. And sit quietly for a little bit, for a few breaths. Observe the stillness. Now let's do our final round. If you want, you can keep your eyes open or you can close the eyes, sit tall, inhale, and let's begin. Exhale. Again, empty the lungs and slowly fill up, starting at the bottom, midsection, upper section. And then hold the breath, close the eyes, bring the attention back to the forehead. Notice every sensation and everything that is unusual or different from ordinary. Just notice everything without judgment, without deciding it is good, it is bad. Just simply make note of any sensation. And if you don't have any sensation, see if you can find a gap between two thoughts and just allow that to expand. And just rest in that thoughtless state. Just imagine you hit the pause button in the mind. Whenever you need to release the breath, just release slowly. Returning to natural breath. And slowly open the eyes. So this was stage 1 for Kapalabhati. We will add different kind of retentions later on and apply some bandhas, energy locks. But this should be sufficient for the first or the second week. So in the next video, I'm going to give you the practice for the second week. No teaching, no theory. This is something that you can just practice over and over again. So you don't have to listen to all the instructions and all the theory, but you can just skip and go straight into the practice. See you there.